David reminds us further in Psalms 23 verse 5 that we are welcome at this table, a table that was set in front of us in the presence of our enemies, where our head gets oiled and our cups runneth over. You see, when David talks about being welcomed at this table, he's not coming from a place of boastfulness. He's not saying, I am highly favored. He's not saying, I am better than my enemies. He's rather reminding us that being invited to this table is an act of grace, not a gift because you are superior. Because as he is going through this life actively making choices, he is invited to this table that he neither set for himself or is qualified to be seated there. But yet, the grace of the Most High reaches out to him somehow and places him at a place where he doesn't deserve. This moment is not meant to create pride in the heart of the one seated at the table, but rather it is meant to create humility. Being seated at this table isn't a trophy for the winner, but rather it is a gift for the invited. David creating this picture of you seated and enemies standing around the table provided for you is a reminder to you and I to not look down on those who are still stuck in bitterness, still stuck struggling in anger and different issues of this life. It is a reminder for us not to look down on them, but rather be grateful for the grace that has reached to us. Because the reality is, on any other given day in a different story, they could have been you and you could have been them. But the great news here is that the same grace that reached out to you and placed you at this table stands with his arms open wide, reaching out to them, bringing them home, showing them that there is prospect being next to the Father. Yes, we are all struggling in this life, but the difference isn't the strength in character, but actually the difference is just grace. Grace by the Heavenly Father. Grace in him seeing beyond our shortcoming and inviting us to be part of his union. Grace that extends his tentacles to our lives. The King of Kings looks down and recognizes that you are worthy to be seated at his table. And he extends his invitation to you as well as those around you struggling. You see, David reminds us not to compare, but rather to have compassion on those who are still searching for strength as the sun is about to set. Let's be reminded that the welcoming table isn't a trophy, but it's an invitation of grace, one that reaches out to you and I and is inviting us to come and experience God's peace and hope that surpasses all understanding. I wish you all a happy Sabbath and God bless.